friends, welcome to Mule Sessions. This is Sainu. Today I like to discuss about dependency management and Maven. So, what is dependency management? If you by the term, we can understand that our application is dependent on some libraries. We need to manage those libraries, right? So, take an example. We have a Mule application and Mule application is interacting to database, JMS server, VM, SAP, and SOAP, REST web services. So these are all different external endpoints the Mule application is interacting with. Now to interact with a Mule interactive database, the Mule application requires the corresponding the library, right? So the library in case of database we can call as a driver file. So if you're connecting to Oracle, Oracle will provide a driver file. That driver jar file you need to include in your application. Likewise, you require different kinds of jar files to connect to different end systems, right? So you need to manage. You means application need to manage all those jar files. In application, we need to include all those jar files. Then only Mule application can able to interact with that system, right? Earlier, without Maven, managing of all these jar files in a application is very complex. Okay, tomorrow any version change, you need to manually remove the existing jar file and need to update with the new jar file version, right? And you don't have any snapshot to see what are all the libraries required for this application. You don't have any document to know all the libraries at one place, right? And exporting of this application also complex. So if you want to port this application in one machine to other machine, the application is not portable. This application includes all the jar files. The size of jar files also means application size increases with all the jar files, right? So these managing of these libraries very complex task. By engaging a build tool like Maven, it become very simple. you So Maven is a build tool to build, compile, build, and package your Java applications. Mule application is a kind of Java application. So uh, every Mule application from 4 onwards, it's a Maven based application, right? If you create any application, that is a Maven based application. So what's Maven? Maven is a build tool, build and project management tool. So we'll come to project management later. So what's this build and dependency management? That part we see in today's session, right? So you can call the library files or jar files in this application. You can call them as a dependencies, right? So if this jar file is not there in your application, so your application will fail to run. So this database jar file is not there in your application. Application is not able to connect to database and your application will fail. So your application is dependent on these jar files. So you can call them as dependencies. Okay. In the Maven, we have a file called pom.xml file, project object model.xml file. It contains list of all your dependencies. So it's like this. So you have a pom.xml file. Inside the pom.xml file, it is XML file contains all the dependencies as a list. See if you observe this one. So these are all a reference to a jar file, right? The jar file definition, you can define that dependency like this. So it contains group ID, artifact ID, version. So the majorly these three is required: group ID, artifact, and version. Group ID is like you can assume like a which company under which department this jar file contains. So if you observe org.mule, so it is delivered by the MuleSoft and from the connectors department, right? So here, if you observe MySQL, it is from the MySQL is a company organization that is providing this jar file, and the jar file name is MySQL connector Java. So artifact ID indicates the name of the library and the group ID from which organization under which department that library is providing, and version is version of that jar file. So in the POM XML file, these are all information is furnished, right? By seeing the POM XML file, we can understand this Mule application or this Java application is dependent on these libraries, on these jar files. So these jar files are required. Your application now, if your Maven application, assume this Maven application, Maven based application, Java or Mule application. In this case, your application need not contain all the required jar files. Your application doesn't contain jar files. Okay, the jar files are not need, no need to contain. It has only one XML file called pom.xml file. Now what happens when you run this project? This pom.xml file will be executed. So it understands that okay, I need these jar files. So these jar files are downloaded from Maven repository. There is a Maven central repository in internet. So this jar file downloaded from Maven central repository to your local repository. The local repository is there in your machine. So the path of the local repository is under users, and there is a one folder with your name and M2 folder created under repository. This repository created when you first run the pom.xml file, and your libraries will be downloaded here, right? So now your system contains all these libraries. In your machine there will be 10 applications running. You will have one, you will have two, like that. There are 10 applications are running your application in your machine. App 1, app 2, like that. So all these applications will share this common repository. Okay. These application doesn't contain the jar files. They will refer the jar files from the your local repository. All right. So your application contains only one XML called pom.xml file. So no, this application is very portable. You can easily port application to different machine. When you execute that this application, your pom.xml will run, and the required jar files will be downloaded from Maven central repository to the local repository. From the local repository, your application will refer all the jar files. Okay. So this is advantage of the dependency management through Maven. So hope you enjoyed my session. Thank you very much for watching my session. Thanks a lot.